He who was called by right a Titan of the Renaissance epoch knew the price of his talents and was never ashamed of naming it. Few ordinary people could boast of possessing at least one of his paintings. The artist painted exclusively for the rich. One of his customers said, "Titian is the greediest person of all ever created by nature." The exact date of Tiziano Vecelli's birth is unknown. Hypothetically, he was born in the second half of the 80s of the 15th century in the Italian town of Cadore. His father noticed his son's inclination to painting and sent him to Venice for studies. There, Titian made acquaintance with Giorgione. Giorgione, the young painter, talented and sophisticated, charmed Titian, and the youth did not think twice about joining as his assistant and apprentice. They worked together till Giorgione's death. The style of painting of both artists was similar to each other's so much that after Giorgione's death, some of his pictures, for instance, the Sleeping Venus, were completed by Titian. In 1510, to prevent himself from contracting the plague epidemics, Titian moved to Padua for 1 year. There, he painted frescoes on the facade of the Christian community of St. Anthony's building. The painting style of Titian was still close to that of Giorgione, but the desire to be creative and to make something on his own filled the young artist with the faith in his own abilities. On his return to Venice, Titian received an invitation to the Pope's court. However, he did not accept the flattering invitation, dreaming to become the main painter of Venice. In 1513, the artist offered his services in painting the hall of the Great Council to the Republic of Venice, emphasizing the fact that he was the only person capable of fulfilling such a complicated work. As a fee, Titian asked for the post of the official painter of the Republic. The desired position and the commission for the picture The Battle of Spoleto were received by the artist only a year later. He prolonged his work on the picture for 5 years, during which he regularly received money from the treasury and letters from the authorities with a demand that he complete the work. In 1518, Titian created his first significant church work, the altar image Assumption. The customers, the Franciscan monks, considered the depiction of Virgin Mary so audacious and blasphemous that at first they refused to take the picture. Right at that moment, Titian invented a story about the Austrian ambassador who allegedly implored him to sell the picture. The monks, scared of losing the canvas, took the Assumption with them. The references of the Duke Alfonso of Ferrara, an admirer of Titian's talent, opened the doors of the most influential houses of Italy. Soon, the talented painter received the position of the first art advisor at several Italian courts all at once. Cardinals and nobility arriving in Venice visited Titian's studio by all means to look at the pictures and order their portraits. The most regular customer was the Emperor Charles V, who granted the title of Count to Titian and appointed him as his court painter. In some time, the orders increased, and the artist could not cope with all of them personally. The pictures started by the great master were completed by his apprentices. But the nobility was ready to pay generous sums even for the works in which only the idea belonged to Titian. The artist always painted a woman with the feeling of sincere admiration. Flora, the Venus of Urbino, Venus in front of the mirror. Not a single artist of the Renaissance succeeded in creating such beautiful female images. Titian extolled not only the highest virtues and marital fidelity, but also the sensual beauty of women. The biographer of Titian Dolce wrote, "In his works there are no refined findings, no artificial decoration, no abruptness, but they have exact colors, brush moderation, softness, and tenderness of nature itself." However, for a long time, women played minor roles in Titian's personal life. He chased away the thoughts of marriage, recollecting the instructions of his teacher Giorgione. An artist must not touch a woman, otherwise he will have to work only to feed his children. It was only when Cecilia Soldano, a girl invited by his brother to keep the house, came to his place that the artist abandoned his principles. After Cecilia gave birth to 2 of his sons, they got married. But their marriage did not last long. In 5 years, Cecilia died during childbirth. Titian himself lived a long life and died at the time of the plague epidemics in 1576. The respect of Venice citizens for the great artist was so huge that his body, contrary to the customs observed, was not burnt, but brought to the church of Santa Maria Gloriosa de Frari. The time when the great artist lived and created remained in history as the epoch of Titian.